He's back. Nice. I am so ready for this.
Hi folks, JKG here with another playthrough of one of my Disney Infinity toy boxes. And this is another different one. I've had a couple that are kind of out of the norm for me here lately, and this is definitely true of this one as I struggle to get out of here. Today I'm playing what I have called, mostly as a joke, the Fast and the Furious San Fransokyo Drift toy box. So that's what we've got today. This is basically my shot at a little street racing kind of level, you know? It's got everything you want. It's got some city driving as we start out here on just a little collection mission, if you want to even think of it as a mission. Woo! And there we go, nailed it. Man, the thrill, you know, the thrill from the very beginning of racing through city streets, you know. We've got a little bit of city driving. We've also got, as you'll see here, we've got some high-speed highway driving as we get onto the freeway here. And even on the other side, where the highway's about to take us, you'll notice that we're going to have a little bit of mountain pass, curves and hairpin turn sort of driving. And so that was the sort of motivation for me. I guess wanted the cool driving level. You know, I don't really do driving levels or racing levels or anything like that in Disney Infinity. And, you know, lately I've seen a bunch of these creators really making some awesome stuff. That's really a lot cooler than anything I'm coming up with. But it's just inspired me. I'm like, man, it would be fun just to have a good little driving level, you know. And ooh, what a bust. Alright, let's get that last one. There we go. You know, I was the generation that grew up playing things like Gran Turismo on the original PlayStation, so you know, it's in my blood there somewhere. You love a little driving game every now and then. So this is my shot, and this doesn't really have anything to do with Big Hero 6, except that San Fransokyo is such a cool setting for this sort of thing, so it seemed like an obvious choice. So as you saw there, our first couple of missions, I do have missions in this toy box, but it's almost unfair to call them that. The first several are really just fun little activities for you to do, and so this is no exception. The first two were just collection missions to help you kind of learn the lay of the land, if you will. But here, ooh, that one's busted. Here we've got a little vehicle trick area. I figured a city like San Fransokyo would have a little skate park, of course. So we're going to come to the skate park, and once we've done our 5 missions, we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on out. Ooh. And we're going to move on to our next mission. So another fairly basic little thing for us here, but you know, all that driving makes Hero a little bit hungry, so let's go get some food. So we're going to come to the kind of cool downtown district here in town. We're going to get some food, we'll get some tea, maybe, we'll get some tea, and we'll get some dessert. We'll get some dessert. If you get a chance to play this, and I do hope eventually to upload this so that it can be played online. But if you do get a chance to play it, you'll notice that the map is more or less symmetrical from left to right, and so we've now come to the other part of the downtown district on the other side and get the rest of our food. Okay, so there's that fun little collection mission. Now we're going to try to get, trying to miss that little trolley. We're going to get some upgrades. So we've got 3 upgrades across the map. Again, no particular reason for them, they're just fun. Really, that's kind of the whole point of most of this toy box, is like, let's just do it because it's fun. Who really needs another reason? So our first one is a little multi-shot upgrade. This next one, I believe, is the unbreakable. Yeah, it is. So that's cool. Good if you're going to crash into, you know, lighting poles. And then our third and final one is over on the mountain side. So let's jump back on the highway and see if we can go get that. Again, I'm making this recording just to have it. You really don't need a playthrough video probably for this sort of thing, because it's not like there's some big overarching story. But I just wanted to highlight this little creation of mine. It's out of the ordinary, and you know, hopefully eventually I'm going to upload this, and you know, you may get a chance to play it yourself, I hope. And so a little turbo leech here for our third upgrade, so that's fun. Now, the last two missions, if you will, are finally somewhat cohesive, right? We've got maybe a little bit of a story here, if you want to call it that. The first few, as we saw, were really just basic little collection things, nothing too special. But now we've got these 3 data cards that are kind of secretly hidden around town in 3 of our... Ooh! Sorry, car. I was trying not to hit anybody today, but that just wasn't going to happen, I guess. These 3 data discs are each in parking garages. So we're going to collect all 3 of these. We got 2 of them. Let's go get our third and final one. And then we'll see what kind of data this is and what the point of these data cards is. And so here's our last piece. I'm going to sneak up here and grab this. So what kind of data do we have on these data cards? Are we ready for our sort of final mission? Well, we're going to boost some cars here, folks. And I'm not talking about using your boost meter. We're going to straight up steal 3 cars. So this is where we depart just a little bit from our usually very family-friendly Disney Infinity content. And there's 3 special cars across this map that we're going to steal. And so we've got the first one. We're going to steal this thing, and we're going to bring it over here. They're each going to have their own shipping container that we need to drop them off in. And I got to say, you know, this is where we get a little more on the Grand Theft Auto side of things, which is funny because I don't play games like Grand Theft Auto. I don't really play many games that people would label as mature sorts of games really at all. That's not my kind of content. I think I probably played the original, the OG Grand Theft Auto, like, you know, top-down old school game on PC, and that's about it. But I don't know, there was something that seemed just kind of cool about having this kind of mission. And you know, we've got the docks over here with all these shipping crates and cranes, and it just felt like the sort of seedy thing that would happen in a town like this. Now, I'll just point out quickly here that shipping container is now all closed up that we put our first car in, which was a touch I was happy with. So we'll put our second car in there, and then let's go get our third vehicle. Again, for all of this, I'm just following my radar, and this last one is actually not far away. We actually have a motorcycle this time, and I will say I was originally going to use a different motorcycle for this level, but right about at the end of the time I was finishing this toy box, we actually rewatched Big Hero 6, and you know, one of Hero's friends from the robotics lab made a motorcycle that kind of looked like that, so I was like, oh, that's probably a good fit. So we'll store this last one. Now, it should be no surprise here, folks. If you start stealing cars, you're going to make some enemies. So we've got some thug guys here that are not very happy with us. We're going to have to fight these guys off here to wrap things up. So let's see if we can deal with these guys. Every time I do a playthrough of this, I'm reminded of how bad I am at fighting with Hero. But there you go. That's it. We fought the guys off. This is sort of the end of the missions, if you want to see it that way. Now, I did put a marker on the card just so you know you have it and you're ready to drive. And there's one final thing I want to point out. And this is really not part of the mission, but it is part of why we made this level. And that's to have a race. And so I've got a couple things here. My radar marker's on this button. We'll talk about the button in a minute. We do have a challenge maker. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. This challenge maker is active from the very beginning of the game. So you do not have to complete any of the missions to be able to use this challenge maker. You can use it right from the start. And all it's going to do is, as you can see, it's just starting a little basic little racing gate. Oh no, here my boost was at the wrong time, I guess. little racing gate. I kind of think of it as a time trial. Certainly you can play this with 2 players. It is set up to do that just fine. So you can have more of a traditional, proper race here if you want to, but you're really just going to complete one circuit of our highway. That's kind of what we're racing on here today. So that's a challenge maker. That's available to you whenever. You can replay as many times as you want, obviously. Even from the very beginning of the level, it is available for you, right? You gotta have a race if you're gonna have a driving racing level. You gotta have an actual race built in there somewhere. But as we saw, there's that button and that terminal down there by the challenge maker, and they are only available. They only become active once you have completed the rest of the missions that we saw. So an okay little time for me there. Could have been a little faster if I didn't have that weird crash. That's okay. Once you have completed your mission, you can use this button. The terminal, by the way, is just going to undo the button, and so you can kind of go back and forth if you need to, but the button does this. It's going to switch out part of our track for an actual race starter, right? This is the actual race maker, and so if you feel so inclined, you want to have an actual AI race, you can do that. Now, why did I save this for last? Well, a couple of reasons. One, it felt like it was just kind of a nice little treat for those who actually completed the missions, but also, frankly, it just doesn't work that well. You know, the way the highway is set up, it's not very conducive to an AI race. There's on-ramps and off-ramps, and it really confuses the AI, and it makes the standings look pretty weird, so it doesn't work the best, but nevertheless, sometimes that's what you want to do, and it can still be really fun. So I figured, why not just save that? Why not just save that for last and stick it in there at the end of the game? So that's it, folks. This has been kind of a long video, so forgive me for that, but this is my Fast and Furious San Fransokyo Drift toy box. I hope you get a chance to play it one day. I'll be uploading it soon to the Disney Infinity Discord servers. You can check the link for that. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you do get a chance to play it. Drop me a comment. And thanks, folks. I'll see you for the next playthrough. Have a good one.